Look who's here. We've got Jonathan Borck with us in the flesh. Thank you for joining us, man.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Again.
I booked the appointment with you. You accepted it, but you always had to make a decision to turn up. So I appreciate you doing that,
Couldn't say no to you, mate.
Oh, appreciate that. Okay, so I got 3 questions for you.
Okay.
What's changed? What does it mean? And what would you do? So possibly I'm thinking we start with what's changed in the market the last month. Now, a month is not a very long time in real estate. So I appreciate that. It might be a tiny wee nuanced thing that you've noticed, but maybe we could start with the recent sale that happened. If you wanted to go and just tell that story, I'm sure that people would like to know, especially I think in New Zealand at the moment with a lot of people talking about how the market's stale and all of this messaging. It'd be nice to hear maybe a story from someone who's able to actually do it and sell their house.
Okay. What has changed, I would say, not in the last month, but something that we're seeing the last maybe 6 months that is across the board is that buyers are showing less urgency. They are not happy, but they are willing to wait for deadlines to pass, wait for auctions to pass, and see what they do later on. So that's something that has changed. I think that about the sale that we had yesterday on Waimari Road, great sale, I think that there is 2 key things there. One, obviously, is the communication that you have with the vendors to make sure that they are on board and they understand everything that is happening, because you don't want to have a hard conversation that is a surprise to everyone. So you don't want to sugarcoat that as an agent, and then the vendors will go like, but we thought we were doing okay, and now you're telling us that the market is not responding or something like that. So I think communication with the vendors is key. And then it'll come down to your vendors. Are they willing to listen and take your advice? And I think we were very lucky with the vendors that we had with the clients at Waimari, because they didn't only listen, but they also chose to adjust to the market, adjust to what we were telling them, and look at the big picture, which is we want to sell our place. It might not be for the premium money that we were willing to get at the start, but we want to sell and move on. So they focused on the big picture and took our advice.
Yeah.
I think that's very important.
Do you think it's important that vendors listen to, how much does buyer feedback go into making a decision to drop price or to change something about the marketing? And is that something that you use to kind of influence a decision on directing a vendor a certain way? Or is specifically buyer feedback kind of tough to go by, because ultimately if you put something on paper, that's the best kind of feedback? Yeah, so do you want to talk to those signals that you use to kind of coach your vendors through? What comes to mind?
Yes, absolutely. Buyer feedback is very important because it will help us adjust, but it is also important to us as agents to see what feedback is genuine and what feedback is maybe not that genuine. So what are those signals? How long have the buyers been looking for? Have they made any offers? Are they at super early stages, or they already missed out on a couple? And I think it is up to the agent actually to qualify in a way that feedback, and give it to the vendor. We had feedback there as low as 800 to as high as $1 million, and we sold for 920, which was still at the lower side in a way, because the genuine feedback from qualified buyers, it was around probably 915 to 950. So yeah.
Okay. And the buyers of that property, what did they do right? Compared to someone who maybe is looking for a property for 9, 12 months, going to multiple open homes, missing out at auction. What was kind of something that they did that got them in the door?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It actually turns out that they came through the property only 3 days before the auction.
Oh, wow.
And they ended up buying it. I think it was keeping it simple. Don't overthink. Hey, we like the property. What's the documentation that we need to see? So we had everything ready to go, and it allowed them to make a quick decision and move fast. So they asked the right questions. They were really proactive. So they came through on Sunday. They did like the property. On Monday, their solicitor had the documentation. Their mortgage broker had the documentation. So they were really proactive, and they kept it simple. Didn't focus on the small stuff. Didn't overthink it, and yeah.
Nice. Okay, because I think that a lot of people would call this almost like a buyer's market where,
Mm-hmm.
you got a bit of stock and, maybe not as much competition for certain properties. So buyers might feel, oh, I can just go in there and I can say whatever number I want. And
Mm-hmm.
then they're kind of met with the reality of the market, which is not always the case, right? What would you say to vendors who are looking to sell their house soon, based on success stories that you've now had over the last few months? Yeah, what would you say is some good things that they could be doing now? Is it pricing, presentation, education? What advice would you give to someone before walking into an appraisal if you're looking to sell? Is there anything that you can think is a standout between the sales you've had?
Um, Normally, yeah, we're going to say presentation, at the start of the campaign, that's when you get most eyes on the property. So you want to get that right. Um, but most importantly, I've seen that lately buyers they are willing to do less and less work, so they want something that it is literally ready for them to move in. So even sometimes, or most times, that we'll present the buyer with a solution. It doesn't have a garage. Well, you could put a garage there. There is scope for it. Um, I would like to, tidy up the kitchen. I see that buyers, they are willing to do less and less work. So for vendors, if you're spending some money preparing your house for the market, do not leave anything unfinished, or you don't want buyers to feel that they could have done this better. So I think that's very important. And then of course presentation and your agent, it'll all come in the mix.
Mm.
But don't let buyers feel that, hey, this could have been done better, or I feel it's unfinished, or yeah.
What's changed with the buyer side of things in the last month? Is there anything small? Obviously, potentially interest rates coming up a bit, things like that, obviously happening in the wider market. But in the area that you're operating in, Parklands and Prestons and all those areas, is there anything with the buyers you've noticed has slightly changed, or the people that have coming up to open homes, are they saying similar things to you? Like, what are you noticing there for the buyer side?
Nothing specifically, nothing in particular. I feel that it is more a change across the board,
Mm.
that maybe with the uncertainty that buyers are facing with interest rates that are going up, with elections coming later this year. So I feel that there is a lot of things there in the background that are making buyers a bit more cautious. And that's in general. Not only in Parklands, but we've seen that, yeah, everywhere
Yeah.
in
Okay.
Christchurch. Yeah.
And this isn't your first time through a winter market, right? So what things do you notice coming out of winter going into spring? Like, obviously there is an idea that people like to list in spring. You can
Mm-hmm.
sell in summer and we can move. But yeah, is that what you would anticipate as well this year? Even with it being an election year, you expect people to start to look to be selling or getting their house ready now to list in spring?
Yeah, by all means, we do have a few clients now that are actually getting ready to list in the next 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
So it is quite normal that a winter market you're gonna have less stock because hey, it is cold, and not every house is gonna feel cozy and warm, but everything looks nice in spring.
Yeah.
So I do believe there will be, yeah, more properties coming up in the next 12 weeks. So let's say, yeah, October. But good time to buy right now because
Yeah.
again, it is supply and demand.
Hmm.
So yeah,
You mentioned, sorry, did you have something else?
no, it's fine. You just got that later on because I think that was a good point. Yeah,
No, that's great.
good time to buy is later actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
better.
You mentioned just earlier you were heading off to do some painting. Like,
Oh yes, 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 yes.
yeah. So what's that about? Is that a client of yours or for yourself, or what's the story there?
Yeah, no, it is a client of ours. As an agent, I do mention to all my clients, I actually I want to bring value to the table. I don't want to be that guy that, hey, when you're ready to sell, I'm gonna turn up, and I'll clip the ticket, sell the property, and happy days. So I want to add value through advice, through work, through the networking of tradespeople that I know from being a painter. So there's a property that we're gonna be listing this week. and I'm just gonna be painting some deck there. So
Nice.
yeah, it is partially new, partially old, and I think that with some of my painting skills from the old days, I can make that blending and make it look nicer. So yeah, it'll be a half a day job or something that I actually enjoy, and it's not the first time that I do something like that for a client. So yeah,
Cool.
it's no problem at all with me.
Yeah. It's nice having those skills to be able to kind of, partner with obviously the real estate skills you have. And your incentives are aligned with the vendor, right? You want them to sell quickly and for the best price, and having an eye for that kind of stuff. Is that something that you notice within like 10 seconds you're going to be round in a week to do the painting on the deck, or how did that decision come about?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. So I went around to the property. I saw that the vendor was working hard in getting the property ready, and I felt that hey, maybe I can help here and just take some of that weight off their shoulders, some of
Mm,
that stress. So it's probably something that I offered. Yeah, within 2 minutes that I was there. Hey, what's happening here? Do you want to focus on everything else, and do you want to leave these on me? So yeah, it
mm.
was actually natural. And when I realized I had already offered to do it, and it was pretty much locked in. Yeah.
Nice, cool. Okay, final thoughts. Is there anything that the last question? So we've covered what's changed, we've covered what that means. Anything that if you put yourself in the shoes of a first-time buyer or an investor or a homeowner, what would you be doing now? Like, is there anything? Obviously, if you're looking to sell and you need to sell, you're going to list your house.
Mm-hmm.
But is there anything that if you're kind of outside or interested in the market but not really sure what to do, yeah, any just hot takes, any piece of advice for people who are looking to get in?
Yeah, I think that even though buyers, like I said before, buyers are showing less urgency and they're taking longer to buy, sorry. When you look at the big picture in the last 12 months,
Mm,
prices in Christchurch, they're slightly coming up. And
mm,
even though with the interest rates, and we have these stats coming out yeah, every month, even though with the interest rates now and with the uncertainty, prices are not coming back.
mm.
So I don't think anything's going to get any cheaper. And of course, the right time is whenever it works for you, but I don't think it's a bad time to buy. Yeah,
Yeah.
even though you're gonna have more properties available, you're likely to have more properties available in spring.
Mm.
Hey, just keep it simple. If you see the property that you like, ask the right questions, double check the paperwork, and just yeah, don't wait around. Just
Cool.
yeah, take action.
Awesome. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Thank you, Jonathan.
My
Appreciate your
pleasure.
time.
Thank you.